Yo, you already know who it is, man. It's your boy Dave East, and you now tuned in to Hot New Hip Hop.
Dave East, man. First off, congrats on the project. We're 8 days away now. What's the mindset? You know, approaching your major label debut, what looks to be the biggest project of your career. What's your mindset right now?
I'm excited for it. Like with all my previous projects, I know what I got on it, you know what I mean? And I know the climate of rap right now and what's needed, you know what I mean? In my opinion, what's needed. So I feel good. Keep it real with you, I'm getting a lot of love from a lot of my peers in the rap game, you know what I mean? And that's different from any of my other projects. The streets is talking about it crazy, you know what I mean? Like I never really been buzzing in the streets like this before, you know what I mean? So it feel good. It feel good to go through Harlem and everybody running down on me, like, it's dope.
So it's officially called an EP. Like I got to hear it last night, and it definitely, like, to me has...
Oh, you heard it?
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
lit.
man. Oh, yeah.
It's lit.
Excellent. You know, to me, it has everything that you want in an album. Is there any, like, distinction, EP versus album? Like, what is...
Honestly, I feel like I approach it the same, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really be like, all right, I'm in mixtape mode, or I'm in EP mode. Like, I approach it all the same. That's really up to the label, really, to break down what they picking this, you know what I'm saying? But with me, I'm gonna approach it like an album, because I always wanted to be my best work, you know what I mean? Regardless of what it's titled as, you know what I'm saying? I want to always package it as something people can live with for a minute, you know what I mean? So I think of it as my album, you know what I mean?
So you just said, like, you're obviously getting, like, a ton of love, especially with the project on the way up in Harlem. But, like, another kind of big theme on the album is, like, on the flip side, there's also, like, a lot of hate coming from, you know, even those, like, in your home neighborhood or your day ones and whatnot. So just, like, talk about that, like, the balance, like, you know, getting that hometown love and also experiencing, like, kind of the unexpected hate as well.
I feel like, honestly, it's the balance of life. Like, it wouldn't even feel real if it was just 100% love, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's just confusion 90% of the time, you know what I mean? That's your biggest hater gonna be somebody that watched you do it, you know what I'm saying? Or was around you to see it happen for you. And they might just be mad that they wasn't confident in their own self to chase nothing, you know what I mean? Regardless of what dream you might have. They just didn't have it in themselves to chase it. And then they was with you, watching you chase yours, and then when it happened, it's like, it may feel away. Then you got the haters that never met you a day in their life. They don't know who you are, what you come from, you know what I mean? They just judgmental. It's like, you know what I mean? They just looking from afar, and they just picking how they feel about you before they even meet you, you know what I mean, or before they even have a conversation with you. So I feel like it's the balance. Same way as people never met you in their life and love you to death. I got people tattoo my lyrics on them that I never met, you know what I mean? That's real, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's a balance. It go both ways. I just feel like it's more of a magnifying glass on it now because I'm in the light, you know what I mean? But I love it both, you know what I mean? My thing is to keep the haters hating, you know what I mean? And keep the ones that showing love, make them fall in love with it even more, you know what I mean? But the hate that's motivation. It keep me sharp.
So along that line, I want to talk about the track "Hated."
They hate it. Yeah.
Where Nas, he gives a little intro on that, and, like, so you're obviously still got a strong partnership with him.
Oh yeah, that's family.
Is that kind of like something, you rap on that track, like they hated Jesus, Martin, Malcolm? Is that something Nas kind of passed down to you? Like, if you're gonna be great, you're gonna have to deal with this?
I mean, we didn't really have that conversation. It's like, I'm like a student, you know what I mean? I'm a sponge of everything, so just me being around it and watching it from afar, you know what I mean? I kind of picked up on that, you know what I mean? But with that record, it's just like, they gonna hate, you know what I mean? They hated Jesus, they hated Malcolm X, Martin, like, it don't matter who you was, like, anything you trying to bring great, or if you trying to change your life and people's lives around it, you're gonna have people that don't understand it. You know what I mean? And a lot of times with them not understanding it, they look down on it like, man, I ain't feeling that, or that's whack, because they ain't got nothing to do with it. They don't have no way to it, or, you know what I'm saying? They can't make their way to my section in the club, so they mad, you know what I'm saying? It's cool.
Yeah. What are some of like kind of the albums that you grew up on, like when you think like, oh, that's what a great hip hop album should sound like? What are some examples of that?
Great albums I grew up on that I feel like was solid. Get Rich or Die Trying. I feel like that was a perfectly put together album from top to bottom. It's Dark and Hell is Hot, DMX, you know what I'm saying? That was one of my favorite albums. Mace, Harlem World, Cameron, Sports, Drugs, and Entertainment. The Locks, Money, Power, Respect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got a few that Nas, It Was Written. Like, there's a few albums that I feel like is you can't skip nothing. You gotta let it just rock. That's what I want to bring. Like, where you don't have your favorite. I like number 2, 3. I want you to be like, yo, that album was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, or Kendrick album, first album, Good Kid, Mad City. That's one of them joints you just let play. You know what I mean?
For sure. I think we're seeing like a little bit of a renaissance in New York, where there's some young guys who are doing it well. Like, I think you're kind of leading the pack. But like with you, I think you're like, more than anyone else, you're bringing like a kind of a style, that gritty lyricism that was kind of lost for so many years. Is that like a conscious thing? Like you want to bring that back?
With me, honestly, it ain't really about bringing it back. Like I always said, like I ain't want to be the dude with the Yankee hat, the Yankee jersey, the Yankee jacket, the Yankee shoes, like waving the big New York flag. I ain't want to come out like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can listen to me, meet me, get around me, and know exactly where I'm from. So it's like, with that, that's just me telling my real life story. So like, that's how I come out, you know what I'm saying? That's how I sound, but I'm not really trying to focus on a certain, like, let me do this way. This how Nas and them did it, let me do it like that. Nah, I'm not on it like that. I'm just giving my version, you know what I mean? And I just got a thing for them type of beats, that type of production, that boom bap, that hard. I like that more than the turn up, you know what I mean? Like, not to say I'm not a fan of the turn up, because in the club, I want to hear that, you know what I mean? But as far as my own music, and when I'm waking up, rolling up, or I'm just riding, driving, I want to hear that. I want to hear some pain. I want to hear some stories. I want to hear something that moves me, or something I can relate to, you know what I mean? Something I can gravitate to, like, oh, I've been through that, you know what I mean? Or like, my man was telling me some shit that's just like that, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of this music today, you can't do that with, so I be still in tune with a lot of them older albums.
Yeah, because more so than like the just the lyricism, I think it's more like the storytelling that stands out, and that's like something that's not very common these days, where like you're telling...
The stories with me, I kind of, I got some real wild, like, stories in my life, you know what I'm saying, that I haven't even spoke about at all. Like Keisha, like them, like stories like that was just like little glimpses of just, you know what I'm saying? But I'm my favorite rappers is Biggie, Nas, Styles, like Jay, like dudes that told crazy stories, you know what I mean? And I grew up, it's like it's almost programmed in my head already, like I could tell a story, you know what I mean? And I could detail it where it's vivid. You can see it, you can feel it without, you know what I mean, just listening to it. And that really come from just going through real life situations where if you wasn't there, or if you really never been through that, you couldn't even tell a story that deep, or you couldn't get into that detail, you know what I mean? It's like first person. It's straight from me, straight from what I saw, you know what I'm saying? It's not something somebody told me or nothing like that. So I feel like that makes it that much more authentic, and it make it easier for me to flow. Like I'm taking stuff straight from my mind. I ain't really trying to make nothing up.
Yeah. So you say kind of like your comfort zone is more of the boom bap sound a little bit, but we've also heard you go in on some trap beats, and like I know on this one we got, I think it opens with an 808 Mafia.
808 Mafia, man, yeah.
Like
so
something real turned up. So how do you kind of balance like, you know, focusing on like the storytelling and the lyricism with also like recognizing the changing sound and like the changing audience and trying to put it all in perspective?
Honestly, with that, I feel like I'm a fan of music all kind of music, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not like boxed in where I only listen to a certain, you know what I mean? I listen to everything. So just with me knowing that, knowing I am one of the younger dudes, knowing this isn't the time of nobody really want to hear all that rap, you know what I mean? Like people want to go dance, turn up, get high. So I balance it easily. Like I got older dudes around me, I got younger dudes around me, you know what I'm saying? Like within my circle, so it's like I'm getting vibes from both, you know what I mean? I still got the older dudes letting me know what they love, and you know what I mean? Yo, they telling me old stories and all that, so that's playing in one ear. Then I got my little brother and them that listen to Uzi and them all day, you know what I'm saying? And that's playing in the other ear, so it's like, I'm finding that balance, but I can still keep it me, you know what I'm saying? I could get on them beats, but I'm gonna just do it my way. I'm gonna still have the lyrics, I could tell a story on them beats, you get what I'm saying? I'm like, just kind of merging the two, you know what I mean? And I feel like, it's helping my whole sound spread, you know what I mean? I'm like, my fan base is from 15 to 45, 50 years old, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's a lot of people, a lot of ages, and I feel like I'm making music that you could grow up to, you know what I'm saying? Like people could be 18 and you can knock my music till you 22, 23, and you're gonna be like, damn, it's gonna hit you even harder once you get a little older, you know what I'm saying? Just cause you're gonna go through more stuff, you know what I mean? I ain't really trying to make that hot for the summer record. You know what I mean? I want some shit that's going you could put that shit on in 5 years and it's gonna still be like, damn, that shit was hard. Like, you know what I mean?
Were you saying that, like trying to balance like, you know, influence from the new guys and the veterans? Like a lot of your biggest collaborations, you know, are coming with like the legends, and like I think that was true on the last mixtape as well as this one. Yeah. Is that kind of because like you're kind of at a point in your life, like, you know, you got into the rap game a little late, you just had a daughter, like, is that just because those guys are kind of more in tune with where your head's at right now than like maybe say like the guys he was on the Freshman cover with?
I feel like it's more of a where it's at, like where my music's at. Like I feel like the dudes I'm working with or the legends that have co-signed it or that do work with me, they respecting what I'm doing more than anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like with the Nas situation, like he done told me like he see a lot of his same characteristics and a lot of the same ways he was in me. And I feel like a lot of the dudes from the that golden era, the 90s and the early 2000s in hip hop, I feel like they all feel the same way. They all have approached me the same way. You get what I'm saying? Like one has never liked me more than the other. You know what I mean? Like when I got with Styles and them, it was love. You know what I mean? Then I got with Nas, it was love. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like either or, you know what I mean? I just spoke Russell Simmons. I just found out he a fan. Like he's into my music. So it's like I was saying, it's from kids all the way to the older dudes, you know what I mean? So that I feel like that's I could wear it on my back, like, all right, bet, I could run with that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could be the one to do that and always keep it a certain way, and you gonna always know this is New York when you hear me, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like it's only been a select group of dudes that do that, you know what I'm saying? When you hear Snoop, you know that's Cali. Yeah. You know it, like off jump. It don't matter what type of record it is, you know this Snoop, that's West Coast. You hear Jay, I don't care if it's a Kanye beat, whatever, it sound like New York, you know what I mean? And I wanna be able to always bring that.
Yeah. Speaking of Jay, I just want to ask you real quick, like, what you thought about his new album. Seeing that, like, it was just so different than the other like chart-topping projects this year. How did you react to it? I
loved it. Yeah. I like that Jay. That's the Jay. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really into the turn up Jay. You know what I'm saying? I like to hear Jay talk and go where you gotta rewind it, and you know what I'm saying? And then like No ID, one of my favorite producers ever. So just them two doing a whole tape like that was crazy. You know what I mean? I still, that's definitely in my rotation right now.
Yeah. Speaking on producers, I know there was like a couple I was able to ID on there. Obviously, it kicks off with the 808 Mafia.
Yeah.
Who else you got on there?
I got 808 Mafia, Harry Fraud.
Yeah.
Harry Fraud, we got a banger. Who else is on it? this young kid, JoJo Beats. He got like 4 records on there. He's new.
Oh, dope.
This is the first project I worked with him, but he got pain. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he got 4 joints on the tape, so that speaks for itself. You know what I mean?
For sure, yeah.
Kid Reezy Renegade. He did the joint with me and Wiz.
The Wiz one, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was, I kept it tight. You know what I mean? I didn't really go all over the place. I got with a couple. I got with No ID. Me and No ID got a joint. And Amadeus produced the Chris Brown record.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah.
So yeah, let's just get into a couple of these records. First off, the one with Jeezy.
Yeah.
Like it was surprising to hear him jump on that track, but like you guys do. I think there is like definitely like the same type of motivational strain that like runs through y'all music. What was it like working with him, getting some game from him, and putting that track together?
Jeezy the big homie, man. So that was like that was something I was looking forward to. You know what I mean? And for him to be a fan of what I was doing kind of shocked me. I was like, oh, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He actually took me on his tour with him for a couple of dates, did some shows with him. Jeezy 100, you know what I'm saying? Like, he really chop it up with you, give you game. Like, anything I need or I ask of him, he always a phone call away. You know what I'm saying? When I go to Atlanta, I feel like I'm in New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, he lay it all out for me. So that record, that's the title track. It's called Paranoia. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, 808 Mafia did the beat, but just the way it knocked, I was like, ain't nobody else could get on this but Jeezy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta have that, and that's the way people ain't really heard me like that on that type of sound. Like, you ain't heard me on no 808 Mafia beat.
Yeah.
So to have that with Jeezy, and that's the opening track, so that kind of set the tone for the energy and kind of where I was going with the tape.
Yeah, it's a killer. Yeah. Yeah. Well, first let's just address the album title. Like, I know. Paranoia, like that's obviously like a mind state you were dealing with when you were, was in the streets and like before rap, but it's also something that's kind of spilled over even to today. Like, can you talk about like how that's still like part of your day to day and why you chose to title the album that?
I feel like my paranoia got worse, like from before. Like before, it was only like problems with somebody I knew, you know what I'm saying? Or if I knew who I had a problem with, put it that way. Now, I don't know where that shit coming from. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't. So, and with me being a father, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's my job, it's my, as a dad and just as Kairi's protector to make sure I get back to her. So I can't really afford to go get locked up no more or, you know what I mean, put myself in any type of situation where I can't get back to my daughter, you know what I mean? I'm paranoid about leaving a life that I became so like comfortable with and so, you know what I mean? I was so good in the hood. Like I ain't, you know what I mean? I was cool just going to the store and chilling and, you know what I mean? Smoking on my block and just being a regular, normal dude, you know what I mean? That was kind of, I hated it and loved it at the same time. I was like, man, it gotta be more than this. But I was also cool with it, like whatever. Now I got everything I ever wanted, you know what I'm saying? Basically, it's right in my hand, and I can't do that like I used to. I can't just be chilling and, you know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of over with, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't turn fame off, and that's something I'm starting to learn, you know what I mean? Like once your name is out there and people know, oh, that's Dave East, that's what it is. Whether I do good or bad, you can either be a great famous person or you could be a bad famous person, but if you can't turn that fame off, you know what I mean? So that's kind of, that'd be scary for me, you know what I mean? But I feel like I treat it like everything else. I just roll with it, you know what I mean?
On the subject of your daughter, she also makes an appearance on...
Yeah, Kairi got her first, she on Paranoia, man, y'all. Aside, she on you. Yeah. You heard?
Yeah, no, she's dope on there, yeah. Has it been like, just talk about the challenge of like, trying to be there for these first few years of her life while you're like, becoming a rap star, traveling the world. That like talk about trying to balance that.
That was emotionally and like mentally extremely difficult. You know what I'm saying? Financially cool. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like I be thinking about it sometimes, like, man, I could be with Kairi every day, all day, but be dead broke. scrambling and trying to figure out how I get $1 to get her Pampers, to feed her, but be with her all the time. You know what I'm saying? Now I gotta exchange the time to go get it. You know what I mean? But that make her life that much more comfortable when I get back to her. So it's like it's a weird balance. You know what I'm saying? But at first it was scary. Like when I would leave away from her for like 8-9 days, I'd be like, damn, is she gonna remember me? Like my mom be like, you her dad. Of course she gonna remember you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I would leave and I would come back. And she run up on me, she grabbed me, kissed me, like, so it just started letting me know, like, oh, she know exactly who I am, you know what I mean? And she 1 in 5 months now. Very smart, you know what I mean? Very like, she pay attention to everything. It was like a bug or something was crawling on the window. I grabbed the shoe to try to kill it. She picked up her little shoe, started hitting the wall. Like anything I do, she just follow it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm faced with something where it's like I gotta set the right example. I gotta watch how I move, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't even really bring women around nothing no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm gonna go do my thing, I go sneak off somewhere, go a little more, you know what I mean? Cause I don't want her to meet nobody or none of that. Like I really don't want Kairi involved with none of this Dave E shit. You know what I mean? Like she on the tape, but that's it. She just gonna get these royalties and you know what I mean? Shit like that. But I don't really want her caught up in none of what I done created. You feel me? The media gonna do it anyway. So I mean, as much as I could keep it away from her, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? In a minute she'll be on her own Instagram and have her own little. And then I can't stop what she see.
Yeah. So I just want to run through like some of the tracks that stood out to me. Like I love, obviously the Jeezy and the Wiz collab. The French and the Harry Fraud track is like perfectly
Maneuver.
Smooth.
That's New York, man.
I love that vibe.
That's New York.
Then on to some of the solo tracks. I felt that Found a Way was kind of like that really like kind of summed up like your whole movement. Like
that's my favorite record.
Yeah.
On the whole project, Found a Way.
And then the closing track. What's that one called again? That was Have You Ever?
Yeah.
I thought that was like some of the best storytelling we've heard. Just any other like special tracks that you wanna make sure people look out for or speak on a little bit?
Got a record called, look out for all 10 of them joints, but I got a record called Wanna Be Me. That's like that's kind of straight from the heart. That's one of them heartfelt joints. What else? Like I said, Found a Way is my favorite record on the tape. Just because it was different. You know what I'm saying? I didn't write that record. I just went in the booth and did it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't writing. I'm a heavy writer. Like I write all my own hooks, everything. You know what I mean? Or even if you hear a lot of times you hear people on hooks with me, I wrote it. You know what I'm saying? Like I do all my own writing. So that was a fun joint because I ain't write it. So that was like, let me see how this sound. I went in there, did it, came out, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like, then I got it's a chick named Deanna Stewart. She from LA. She doing like background vocals on there with me. Because I always wanted to do like some harmonizing with a female artist. I never really did that before. So Found a Way my favorite joint. But I love the record with Jeezy. I love the joint with French. You know what I mean? French then went global on everybody. You know what I mean? So to really have him on some New York, you know what I mean? Like it kind of brought me back to the older French. Like Harry Fraud is a monster. You know what I'm saying? I've been wanting to work with him anyway.
Yeah, I love that beat. Yeah.
So it was dope, and that's not no sample. So that was even crazy. I was like, I'm listening to it. I'm like, damn, that ain't no sample. But Harry Fraud is a monster. I've been wanting to work with him. Wiz, that was probably the funnest, highest session of my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, y'all were on one.
We was in LA. That was fun, man. Wiz is real down to earth. Physically, mentally, we both out of there. But, real down to earth, real cool. All his homies, mad cool. I had a session in LA. He just pulled up on me like regular. You know what I'm saying? We let him hit a tape. Let him hit that joint. I was like, yo, you gotta jump on this. Like, this is like that older. Like, I ain't heard you like this. I know. On this one, you gotta go back to. You know what I'm saying?
He was sounding mean on
crazy
that.
On that shit. Crazy. Yeah. I ain't gonna front. Everybody came through like 130% for me on the features. Like nobody just gave me a verse or just everybody like gave a fire contribution to the tape. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, just wrapping up, like, so we're 8 days away. Are we gonna get like maybe a little tour in support of the project, or what can we look out for in the near future from Davies?
Paranoia, I got the tour definitely coming. I'm about to start bombing. I'll probably drop something, another, you know what I mean?
Something.
Yeah, I'm about to start dropping. So, yeah, me and one of y'all other favorite artists. I ain't gonna say his name right now, because I'm gonna let it unravel a little more. But we doing like a joint project. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
What else? I got tour really. Tour. I'm going to London in the next month. That'll be my first time in the UK.
Yeah.
Never been to London, so end of September I'll be over there. A lot of people be hitting me on Instagram and Twitter. Come to London. I never got to go over there. I went to Japan, but I ain't get to go to London, so I'm looking forward to that. And just more content, man, more visuals, more me. I feel like the people that I have won over, you know what I mean? They just want more, you know what I mean? So I just gotta keep coming with it.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, that's a wrap for me. You know, best of luck with the next,
Shouts to
next week.
HotNewHipHop too. This the first, y'all the first people like website, like my very, very first mixtape. First website my shit ever was on. Like,
yeah, man. Well, I'm telling these guys.
Y'all started the platform for me. I appreciate it.
I'm telling these guys, like, I can't wait for them to hear it. Like, so, yeah, congrats.
You got one up on everybody. You got
I know. I'm
exclusive list.
I keep quiet, but yeah, but thank you for stopping by, man.
Thank you. Word.